so welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you why I'm dropping out of UC Davis. I have a couple disclaimers before I start this video. First of all, I'm not dropping out of college. I'm withdrawing from University of California, Davis, and I'm transferring over to a community college back in Washington. Second disclaimer is that these are just my personal experiences and opinions of my time here at UC Davis and how I felt about the campus as a whole, the classes, advisors, all that jazz. Disclaimer number 3, I know I have this amazing opportunity here at Davis, but Davis just isn't right for me. It's not like I'm just throwing it away. This took a lot of thought. I know I'm very, very lucky, but I'm gonna do what's best for me. I don't want to discourage anyone that's looking into going to UC Davis. I suppose I should start from the beginning. When I was applying for colleges, I didn't really look into all my options that I had. There's hundreds and hundreds of universities and community colleges, and I really just had my eye on these top ones. My intention going to college was that I was going to go to a 4-year, get my BS, and then go on to med school and pursue my dream of becoming a trauma surgeon. While applying, I had my top 2 colleges: University of Washington, close to my home. It's a really good university. And then my second, they weren't like first choice, second choice, they're just both at the top, was University of California, Davis, because my parents grew up in the Bay Area, so they knew the school, and it's a very well-known and renowned university. After UC Davis accepted me, I immediately committed. Oh my god, it's UC Davis, it's a UC, it's a great school, I'm gonna be a great doctor, was my idea. I didn't really think about my other options. There's one of my mistakes. After I accepted, my dad and my grandma and myself went to go tour the university, and once we got there, I was just kind of in shock. The fact that I'm going to college and I'm graduating in 2 months. We got this tour. The first initial thought was, this freaking campus is ginormous. Like, guys, I'm not kidding. I think I'll insert like how many acres it is. After I got back from that tour, I needed to set a date for my orientation. At Davis, they have 4 colleges: College of Biological Sciences, of Agricultural, Letters of Science, and Engineering. So all the majors fit into one of those colleges, and then the colleges, that's where they have advising centers. For my college, which is Biological Sciences, because my major is Biological Sciences, my orientation was supposed to be when I was on a trip with my family in Hawaii. I registered for, they have a national and international orientation, which is a week before school starts, so the kids can just get there and not have to fly back and forth. The only problem with that is that during the college orientation, which I was supposed to go to, but I was on my trip, that's when they help you register for classes and they kind of guide you. Since I didn't have that guidance, my stepfather and I, we made a list of classes that we thought would be good. We had no idea. I had no advising whatsoever. While I was away, I had my stepdad do it. He registered me for Biz 2A, Math 17A, and Classics 30F. So the first 2, math and biology, are both core classes. You need them for your major to graduate. And they're usually the more difficult classes like math, biology, chem, physics, things like that. Depending on your major, all of them are different. In Classics, it's just like, it was a Latin and word roots class, and that's just a GE, and then you need GEs also to fulfill your credit amount. That's the gist of it. Fast forwarding to the future, I now know, 1, for biology, Biz 2A, it's recommended that you take the whole chem series first, which is Chem 2A, Chem 2B, Chem 2C, and then you're supposed to take Biz 2B. And the reason you take the whole chem series first is because Biz 2A is super chemistry based and oriented, and I placed into the chemistry, but that's not what is recommended. And second is that you shouldn't really take 2 core classes if you're a freshman and it's your first quarter. To get acclimated, to gain study habits, to just get a feel for the campus and being away from home and all that, it's best to not have a super heavy course load your first quarter. And that's where I was kind of misguided. When I got back from Hawaii, I had a phone advising appointment with one of the women from the BASC, which is the Biology Academic Success Center, so the advising center. And I called her and I told her what I had for my schedule, and she was like,
"Oh, it's fine, like, you placed into those, no biggie. Yeah, you'll do great, like."
And now looking back, she kind of screwed me over because she didn't let me know of those 2 things that I just previously told you. And that's important. Coming from high school where it's not as rigorous, it's not so fast, quarter systems are freaking so fast, guys. You blink and the quarter's over. That's where I feel like I started on a bad foot at Davis because I was not advised correctly. My family decided to take another trip to go tour the campus. And the second time, my grandma, my mom, my sister, and then my boyfriend, we all went down to go look at the campus because one, I wanted all my family to know where I was living, and two, I wanted to be more prepared going into it so I wasn't so nervous. We get another tour. We also get a dorm tour this time, and again I'm like, wow, this campus is huge. I don't think I was necessarily in shock at this point. It was more just dreading having to go to college, which is crazy because I do have this great opportunity and I know that, and I'm starting this whole new chapter in my life, but I just, looking back on it now, I shouldn't have gone so far away from home. My actual orientation that I actually go to is the National International one, and I get there a week before school starts, so I got to move straight into my dorm, which was really, really nice because I didn't have to deal with all the hustle and bustle of all the crowds during move-in weekend. I get there and it was pretty much pointless. The main reason for orientation is to register for your classes. And then my roommates moved in on move-in weekend, which was like 5 days later. And we got along fine. It also plays a role in why I'm deciding to deuce out of here. First day of classes roll around. My initial thoughts are, holy freaking crap, these classes are huge, guys. 300 to 500 people in each of my classes. I walked in and I was just shook. Like, second, as I started going to classes and the weeks progressed, I was like, wow, professors really don't give a about anyone. Which I wasn't expecting them to, of course, it's college. They're there to do their thing and get out. Third is that people were very, very standoffish. The first week of classes, I would go up, if I sat next to people, I'd be like,
hi, my name's Tristan, nice to meet you. I'm a biological sciences major and I live in Quarto.
Try to make friends. Midterms are coming up already. It's like the first 2 or 3 weeks of school, right? Quarter systems are crazy. I was trying to study and I didn't know how to study for these classes. The fact I didn't know how to do it, I didn't give it to my best effort. When you get to college, you'll know what I mean. All my midterms were on the same day. I took them, and afterwards I was like, oh boy, I'm in for a freaking sweet ride. I go to the Basque, and I go to my advisor, and I tell her, I cannot be taking biology and math at the same time. And this is before I knew you shouldn't be taking 2 core classes at the same time. This was just like me. I am so overwhelmed. I have so much work to do for both of these classes, plus I have another GE on top of it, plus I'm still acclimating, plus I don't know how to study. And she goes,
it's fine. If you fail math this quarter, you can just take it again next quarter, and then if you fail it again next quarter, well, then you can never take it again.
What? How is that advising someone? You know when you get so frustrated, you're like, just want to like cry and punch a wall? That was me in that moment. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna fail these classes. I'm new here. I don't want to do bad. I've always had straight A's my whole freaking entire life. I walk out of that and I feel completely worthless. Like, no one cared at all. I was like, the professors don't care. My TAs don't care. The freaking advisors don't care about me. And this is when I started to think, why am I here? I dug into what I could do. For my math and biology class, I was like, hello, I'm really struggling. If anyone wants to make a study group, let me know. I'm totally down. I live in Quarto. And I left my number. I got a tutor, and that tutor was very like on and off, so I also got another tutor. So technically I had 2 tutors. You basically have to teach yourself. My strong suit isn't math. I got my tutors and I tried to create study groups. Study groups didn't work out. I was doing fine in biology and my GE. I went to my advisor again, the same woman, and I told her, I said, I'm really, really struggling in math right now and I'm worried I'm not gonna pass the class. I went and got tutors. I'm trying to start study groups. What else can you provide for me and help me to be successful here at Davis? She didn't really answer that question. She was like,
Oh, well, yeah, you already have a tutor, so that should be fine. There's also the calc room.
but the times I've gone to the calc room, there's no one there really to help you. The calc room is more, in my opinion, was just a bunch of kids sitting there talking. She basically just wrote up my 4-year plan. Again, I walked out of that appointment very angry now at the staff of Davis. I just felt very let down. I deserved more if I was going to be here. I'm putting in all my effort at this point. I still am just struggling so hard. The quarter has ended. I took my last midterms. I failed math like I figured, even though I was going to 2 tutors and studying. I'd gone to the calc room a couple times. It was so difficult for me to comprehend the information. I need to find a major where I don't have to take the calculus series, because that was just one class and there's 3 math 17 classes in the series. They have a health advising center, which is separate from the 4 major colleges I mentioned earlier. I go there. The guy was super, super nice. He was so sweet and understanding, and he's like, I get it. You're first year and you're really struggling. You know, you just went through your first quarter and you took really hard classes. I totally understand where you're coming from. I basically asked him, because at this point I decided to change my career path and go into nursing. After that first quarter, I was so upset with myself that I didn't have that motivation anymore to be like, yes, I'm gonna go through these 4 years and go to med school. And no, I wasn't giving up. I was just being realistic and real with myself. I said, what are my other options? I really want to go into nursing. And I told him I really, really love psychology. He told me, you can get a psychology BS, which you would have to meet all the same major requirements as your biological sciences major right now. And I was like, well, I don't want to have to take the calc series. I'm fine with all the other classes. He's like, okay, well, you could do the psychology BA, Bachelor of Art instead of Bachelor of Science, but you would still have to meet the prerequisites to get into nursing school. I would have to take biology and chem and physics and OChem. And I was like, okay, that seems like a good option. The advisor was like, let me know, come back, I want to hear what your plan is, I want to help you through this. He was very, very helpful. Light was shining through the cloudy clouds. And I was like, maybe it'll be good. Maybe I'll like Davis. When I got back from winter break, I was on academic probation because, so I got an F in my math class. And because I was so focused on my math class, this isn't an excuse, but this is just kind of what happened. I got a D in my bio class, and then I got a C+ in my classics class. The classes I was taking was not a good situation. I had to fill out a reason why I wanted to stay at UC Davis, because at that time I wasn't sure if I was leaving yet, and I still wanted to finish off my winter quarter at Davis anyway, even if I was leaving. And then I had to go in for an advising appointment, and this time I went into the Basque. It was a different advisor, and she was talking to me. I had to fill out a contract, sign that to be able to stay here at Davis. During that meeting, after she was finished going over that, I barely got to speak a word. And at the end, when she was like,
Do you have any questions?
I was like, well, I'm thinking of transferring back home to Washington to a community college. What are your thoughts on that? She was like,
Oh, great. That's awesome.
and I was like, you literally don't care at all? You're not gonna ask me why? At least at this point, I'm like, don't you want my money? So I walked out of there and I was like, they really don't care if I'm here or not. It wasn't like, oh, what can we do to make your experience here at Davis better? Nothing. That's my experience with the Basque. Didn't really provide any counseling or advising. So that was the whole education all the way through the first quarter. I'm gonna back it up and talk about the roommate situation a little bit. I'm gonna talk about this in an upcoming video because it's really juicy. Our other suite mate, she started doing some things that caused us to have a very, very stressful environment here. Every day we would be on edge. It was not a healthy environment to be living in. Backing up again, when I left, it was really, really difficult for me moving from Washington and coming here to California. Jeffrey and I, at that point, had been dating for, I want to say 7 months, and we had been together every single day. And not that I became very dependent on him, but I was very used to having my best friend around all the time and always having someone to talk to and someone to comfort me. Long distance is really, really difficult as it is, but we're making it work and it's fine. That's not like the issue here. I was always very independent throughout my childhood. My mom, she worked a 9-to-5 job, but at the end of the day, she would always be there after she got off work. And I would always just go into her room and we would just talk and I would just spill my day to her. Not having that, it was like I didn't have my support system. I always had my family really close, and then I also had Jeffrey's family really close. And I got really close to his parents and his sister, and it was just really difficult for me to move somewhere where I literally didn't have any of the people I loved. Plus my dog on top of that. I had to leave my dog behind. Like, I freaking love my dog. I started to get really homesick, which I wasn't expecting because, like I said, I was always very, very independent. The weeks progressed. I started just going to class, doing my homework, and going to bed. Like, I would sleep so much. My boyfriend would be like, why are you sleeping so much? Like, what's going on? I would go out sometimes for events with my sorority, and that would be great, and it would be like a break from reality. But at the end of the day, I was very lonely. I felt like I had no one to support me, even though I still had them, but it was just over the phone. It sounds really, like, pathetic. But this is just honestly how I felt. It got really difficult for me to even be happy. I hated it. I hated it. I would talk to my mom about it, and my mom would say, you're just not acclimated yet, you're gonna love it. I've been here for 2 quarters now, I still hate it. That's not what you want out of your college experience. I'm gonna go into a couple things that aren't that serious, but really irked me. First thing, like I mentioned a lot, when I was touring, the campus, I kept saying, was huge, right? So you need some mode of transportation. First years can't have their cars. Second thing, you have to bike everywhere. So those kind of go hand in hand. I'm not athletic. Do I look athletic? No, I'm not. I've never been athletic. I did track 1 year and then never did it again. It just added to how much I hated Davis. 3, when it rained and you biked in the rain, you'd get freaking soaked. I'm from Washington. I'm used to the rain, but I never have to bike in the rain in Washington. 4th, biking in the wind, you don't move. This is all stuff like, yeah, you'll get used to it, but it just added on. I started to despise Davis. And I know I'm being kind of like over dramatic here, but I'm not kidding, these were all factors. The people at Davis, some people say people here at Davis are great and amazing, and I agree partly with that, but all the people I tried to meet in my class were just rude. I see all these story times about Davis and people that go here, and they're like,
Oh my god, everyone at Davis is so great, I love everybody.
again, these are all my opinions, my experience. Another factor that led to me, one, changing my career path, and one of the reasons I ultimately decided leaving Davis is because of Jeffrey's sister. She is a year older than me. She decided that she was going to go to the community college near our home and go into the nursing program. And I had never even once thought about it. I was always like, I'm gonna go to a 4-year and I'm gonna do great things. Not that if you go to a community college you can't do great things. I don't know what my mindset was, but I just was always like, I have to go to a 4-year. I have to go to a 4-year. And I think part of that is because I wanted to go and become a doctor. I would be at Jeffrey's house a lot, and his sister would always talk about how great it's going and how much she loves it and how interesting it is, and it's close to home and she can still have a job. She actually had multiple jobs, which is mind-blowing to me. I look up to her a lot, which I don't think she realizes, so maybe if she watches this. She's very driven. And I've always been a very driven person. I got into Davis, I worked my freaking ass off to get here. I know, now I'm deciding to drop. And then I really started to listen, and I started to ask her questions about it, and I was like, how does it work? What classes do you have to take? I remember we were kind of talking about it, and I was like, you know, what you're doing is really, really smart, in all honesty. It's way cheaper. You're close to home. You're still getting an amazing education. The program that she's going through, it's a really, really good program. I was just kind of like shocked that I had never considered it even. And that's, like I said in the beginning, one of the mistakes I made was not even considering this thing that could have been really great for me, and I just kind of blew over it. She told me that at the community college, you go and you get your AA for pre-nursing, and then you technically transfer. So you're getting the UW-Bothell education, but you're still staying at the community college campus. And then you get your BSN, so your Bachelor's of Science Nursing. After I left for winter break, my first thing to address with my family, I hadn't really thought about leaving Davis yet. Like, yes, I had thought about it, but I was like, I could never do that. I talked to my dad, my mom, my grandma, was I want to switch my major and do psych BA and then get the prereqs for nursing. And they were like, whoa, 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 you want to be a nurse now? Like, what's going on? Why not just stay in biological sciences? You might as well just push through it. I talked to my mom. My mom was like, do what you need to do, but you're staying at Davis. And I talked to my grandma. And my grandma was very, very understanding. She got her AA, and she was a nurse all of her life. I feel like she really understood what I was talking about and how I was feeling. It was either Jeffrey or myself brought up Jeffrey's sister and how she was doing nursing through the community college. We started looking into it. The more we dug into it, looked at the classes I had to do and how much the tuition was and how much the books were. The pros for the community college were so great. Just like huge list in comparison to Davis, and the cons were like huge list, and the pros were like, it's a great college, you'll get a great degree, it'll look better on a resume. Everything else, money-wise, my education that I was receiving, how happy I was, how far away from home I was, all of those factors played into it. During that conversation, I got really emotional because I had worked so hard to get into Davis, and I thought I was going to do so well, and I wasn't. It wasn't working out how I planned in that, because I've always planned everything. I've had my whole life planned out since I was in like 6th grade. The fact that I was changing my mind, that's allowed. My grandma started to get emotional because she just wanted what was best for me and wanted me to be happy. I talked to my parents, and my parents were like, F no, you're not leaving Davis. Do you not understand how miserable I am? Do you want to look at the price difference? I wrote a nice little email to my parents. And I was like, I'm gonna do what I want. This is best for me. And I laid out, I was like, it's way cheaper, closer to home, be with my family. I will still be getting an amazing education. I'm gonna go and do something that I actually enjoy. Way smaller class sizes. Jeffrey's sister is someone I can look up to and ask questions and have someone that's been through it. I broke it down to, and what was really my deciding factor is what's gonna be more realistic for me. Going to the community college has so many more plus sides to it, and I would be so much happier not only being close to Jeffrey and not only being close to my family and not only having my car. Just for me, my education and my personal health, to have that option to change my mind was, one, mind-blowing, but two, just the right answer for me. This is where I'm at. I have 3 weeks left, and it was the hardest decision I had to make. I know people are gonna say that if they watch this, you should have just toughed it out and you would have been fine. You're whining about how hard it is. I'm not whining about how hard it is. I just didn't feel like I belonged here. I never took a step back and was like, you have the choice to do what you want. After I realized you have a choice, this is your life, no one else is gonna live your life except for you, I decided to do what was best for me, and I'm deciding to leave Davis. I'm very, very excited for my future. I've never been more excited. I wasn't this excited to come to Davis. I don't think I was ever excited to come to Davis. I really see my future panning out how I want it to. I don't want people to think I'm bashing Davis. I know many, many people here who love Davis. I have a sorority sister. She just recently left Davis. She has totally different reason for leaving, but she loved Davis. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own experience. If you're thinking about coming to Davis, I don't want you to be discouraged whatsoever about this video. My main takeaways from this that I want you guys to have is that when you are applying for college, really, really look into it. I know it's super stressful and exciting all at the same time, but really, really do your research. Even if you don't know what you want your career to be, really think about where it's going to give you the best options. Think about the money. Think about how far away it is from home. Even if you don't think you'll be homesick, thought I was going to be the last person on the earth to be homesick, but here I am, miserable, missing my family. This stuff matters. Go tour the place before you get there. Like I said, I toured Davis after I already committed, and I was like, whoa. Know that it is okay to change your mind. It's okay. Think about it. This is your whole life ahead of you. I just really want you guys to take away that it's your life, not anyone else's, so don't listen to other people. I know I'm gonna get crap for going from a 4-year to a 2-year. Do I care? Not at all. I hope this video sent across the right message. I hope this provides some advice for incoming college students. If you're a college student now and you're kind of regretting your decision, whatever it is, I hope that this can help people who are going through a similar situation or are about to go to college. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was kind of a lot, but I just really wanted to share my story and hope I can inspire some other people. So if you liked this video, go ahead and leave me a like down below and comment down below. Let me know if you are going through the same situation or if you're about to go to college, what college are you going to? And don't forget to subscribe. I have many more story times coming up. I've been through a lot. If you guys like these college videos, I plan on making college videos when I go to my community college too, so I'm not just gonna stop making college videos because I'm not going to UC Davis anymore. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.